Good evening, hello, and assalamu alaikum to all of you. This is Shahrukh Yusuf, your tutor, facilitator, and helper for F8 Audit and Assurance. Today, we have this webinar for ACCA September 2025, and there's a lot to discuss, but we'll take everything step by step. So, in front of you guys, so this is the first home screen in front of you. Orientation session for September 2025 at Vertex Learning Solutions, which is your learning platform. Your tutor is Mr. Shahrukh Yusuf there in a very nice suits and in the nice background, standing just right there. And that's me. So a little bit about myself. So I am an ACCA member for the past 3 years. I've been associated with Vertex for since June 2022, so it's been almost 3 years. This is going to be, yeah, so 3 years, yeah. And since June 22, I've been associated with financial reporting and auditing. So I'm teaching audit and assurance here um, for the last 3 years. Yeah. Apart from this, I am currently working as a group financial accountant at a construction industry in the UK. Previously, I've worked at Grant Thornton, PwC, Deloitte, Manchester Airport. Started my career in Pakistan when I finally moved to the UK in 23. I landed in Northern Ireland. I worked there for a couple of months and then moved to England. Um, and yeah, this has been the story. So audit is
What it
has
is?
please can some, I can hear my voice back. So can you turn your mic off, please. Guys, please turn your mic off. Yep, that's fine. Yeah. So audit has been a significant component in my career up until now. And yeah, it has been a profession, but moreover, it has also been a passion. And that's exactly the reason why I've been associated with audit learning. And here you can, if you want to connect with me outside of audit and assurance at Vertex. So here are my contact details, the numbers in front of you. You guys will be in contact with me, obviously, in the group, and you'll have the option for separate chat as well. That's my email, shahrukyusuf16@gmail.com. That's my LinkedIn over there, Shahrukh Yusuf ACCA at LinkedIn. And that's my LinkedIn page, Hybrid Learning and Careers, because outside of audit teaching, I'm also providing counseling services to ACCA students. I help other students and professionals with their resume reviews, interview preparations, and like Power BI learning, or I provide IFRS or accounting learning content. So you guys can check that out on that on that LinkedIn page, Hybrid Learning and Careers, and that's my um, LinkedIn. So if you want, so you can connect with me there. Okay, now moving to the agenda. So that was a basic introduction about myself. Now moving to the first flow. So today we are not going to go in like lots of details because we have the next 3 months available to discuss everything uh, in sufficient detail. Today, our focus is going to be to just understand the process flow, the structure and everything. And after that, we'll see how your course will progress. So this is the audit process flow in front of you. And it is in a reverse chronological order. That means we are going from back, we, we are walking backwards, okay? Definition is in front of you. What is audit? It is an independent verification of a company's financial statements. That's it. That's it. In other words, it's just check and balance. say if my friend says that he's got $500 in his pocket, so I say, give me your wallet and I'll check. So what am I doing? I'm auditing. It cannot get simpler, any simpler. Okay. Honestly, it's just check and balance. In similarly, if a company says we have made $600 million worth turnover during the year, as an auditor, you will just not believe on whatever they say. Your job is to independently verify. So independent verification is equal to check and balance. Okay. But however, those check and balance, that checking, that those checks that you perform as an auditor, obviously they come up with a criteria which we'll look at afterwards. They are not as simple as I've tried to make them. Obviously they come because they come up with a certain criteria. Okay. Now, objective. At the end of the day, what will you do once you have performed all the checks? Once we performed all the checks, obviously we need to come up to a conclusion. Okay. We need to give a final word. That final word is called auditor's opinion, and it's based on all the evidence that he has obtained. Yeah, think of a police case. Okay, so there is a suspect. There are three people. Okay, there are three potential suspects. The police will gather their sufficient and appropriate audit evidence and form a conclusion, and that conclusion is in a document. That document is called police report. That conclusion could be their opinion. Obviously their opinion cannot be um, biased. Their opinion has to be independent. Their opinion has to be unbiased, impartial. Similarly, um, auditors are kind of, I won't say as strict as a police is, because that's completely different in nature, but similar. The process is kind of similar. Okay, but not as strict and rigorous as a police is. Right. Okay. So what is the auditor's objective? The objective, like I mentioned, to express an opinion whether the financial statements are present fairly in all material respects. Present fairly in all material respect, that means whether they are giving the true picture, true and fair view. Are they, is there any false records or incorrect information? Material respect means in all respects, significant, um, substantial, something that's a lot in quantity. Okay. So we normally use this a very much audit related term that we use in order to describe the intensity. And we'll deal with this word many times later on, material word. It will come across so many times during the course and even in your professional life, in case you decide to pursue audit as your profession. Where do you express this opinion? Auditor's report, very simple. What do you need to express this opinion? Sufficient and appropriate audit evidence. Now, when I say sufficient means how will you judge whether audit evidence is sufficient or not? So anything that is, in good quantity, say we have 5 invoices to justify that the sales were actually 600 million during the year. I would say, as per my judgment, or as per the software that the firm, normally the firms use software to decide on the sufficiency of the if decide on the quantity of the evidence that they require. That's called audit sampling. We'll deal with that later on, but for now, if the software, if we may use a software because the software will select um, the right quantity of evidence that we require, and the right quantity will be sufficient, will be a sufficient quantity. But say if I say I'm not going to rely on the software, I'm going to do it myself, and I feel that okay, I'm very busy and I'm not in the mood to like go through so many invoices, just give me three. Do you really think that 3 invoices are good enough to verify $600 million? No, they are not. That's called insufficient evidence. We need sufficient evidence. So in simple terms, anything that is in good quantity, the right quantity, is called sufficient. And appropriate means quality. Quantity and quality of audit evidence. Quantity is equal to sufficient and and quality is equal to appropriate. So anything verbal evidence is not an appropriate evidence. Evidence should be written, evidence should be third-party evidence, evidence should be like directly obtained by the auditor. So there are few checks. Say the client is providing you an evidence, it's not letting us obtain it directly. I mean, anything that you won't do directly on your own, how will you rely on it? So that's not appropriate. So you have to do it on your own. It should be a third party generated, say a client voucher versus supplier independent records, or client's confirmation versus the bank's confirmation. So obviously we are going to rely on the bank's word, okay, because they are an independent of the company. Okay. And lastly, written piece of information. Anything that you say verbally has absolutely no value in an audit world, not just an audit world, in any world. Words are meant to be forgotten, always remember. But anything that you write can never be forgotten. That's exactly the reason why we have beautiful poets, beautiful writers in this world. Okay, even singers. That's all about using your vocals. But at the end of the day, lyrics are also written somewhere. Okay, so yeah, we are done with this slide. Okay, any questions, or shall we move on? If you are happy to proceed, just write down in the chat box proceed. If you have a question, raise your hand. Proceed, proceed, proceed. Okay, all right, brilliant. Now moving forward. Yeah. So as I said, this is the continuation of the same chronological order. Now, last, what did we do last? What is the objective? To express an opinion. Where do you express an opinion? On the report. What do you need to express this opinion? We need an evidence to express this opinion. How will you obtain this evidence? We'll obtain this evidence by performing audit procedures. Again, this term, you will come across this term so many times during your your um, your course, your syllabus. But there are two types of common procedures: test of controls or substantive procedures. I've highlighted that in yellow. Just give me a second. Yeah. Substantive procedure. There's a reason why I highlighted this, because substantive procedure is one of the most important uh, components of your double exam, and I'll prove that to you all later on. But there are two types of audit procedures. So whenever somebody asks you, what types of audit procedures do we have? You say test of controls. Number two, substantive procedures. Substantive procedures themselves have two different subcategories, but we'll discuss them later on in sufficient detail when we deal with substantive procedure area itself. Then we have, when does the auditor perform procedures to obtain audit evidence? So normally we do it during the field work when the auditor is responding to the assessed risk. Okay. Risk assessment, once that's done, then you'll perform these audit procedures to respond to the assessed risk. When does the auditor assesses, sorry, when does the auditor assess, sorry, the risk? During audit planning and risk assessment stage, after obtaining entities understanding, also internal controls. So once you have obtained the entities understanding, once you have obtained the yeah, like during the audit planning and risk assessment stage, once you are done, like what do we say? Yeah, once you have a proper understanding of the entity's control, obviously you will be in a position to identify and assess the potential risks that are if that may affect the company, okay, or your potential client. What do you do before planning and risk assessment? So that's called preliminary engagement activities and precondition of audit. So that's when the appointment, like the appointment still has not been finalized, and you're like in before you're just in the you have just been given the proposal for an audit. Like say there has been that you gave a tender and you received a proposal for a potential audit client, and then this is what you do: preliminary engagement activities. Okay, so we'll try, and in the next slide this process flow will be a lot more um, will make a lot more sense. Up until now, do you have any questions for slide number 2 and 3? If yes, please ask. If not, say proceed in the chat box. All right, moving forward. See, number 4. Yep. Number 4, you guys can see we have, just a second. Yeah. So audit in a nutshell is there in front of you. So we start with preliminary engagement activities, and we have planning, risk and assessment stage, fieldwork testing, procedure performance stage, completion and review stage. So preliminary engagement activities could be like, acceptance and continuous decisions, uh, factors that we need to consider before accepting a new client, or factors that we need to consider before continuing with an existing client. Say we have been auditing XYZ Limited company in the year December 23, and they want you as an auditor in December 24. So you'll have a look, you'll see all the factors that may affect your decision to continue with that client. Okay, so these are called preliminary engagement activities. Also agreeing on preconditions of the audit. So examples of client acceptance and continuous decisions could be potential audit fee. If you think the fee is not good enough, you may not accept the client. Audit firm's competence, you'll review your firm's competence if you have the right resources, the right employees, the right people with you, then only you will you think that you're in a position to justify the audit. Then um client integrity, if there is a big question mark on the client's reputation, then you may not want to put yourself into danger and trouble by accepting this engagement. You will be like, I'm not accepting this because the client has political affiliations and I want to keep myself out of it as an auditor. Ethical threats at the client, family relationships, if your wife's working there, if your children are working there, if your especially your immediate family is there at a client, or you have some sort of financial interest, then there is again a big question mark. You may not be an independent auditor. Okay, so that's part of your preliminary engagement activities, or the factors that you consider before accepting a new or continuing with an existing client, respectively. Okay, preconditions of audit. Yeah. So preconditions of audit, another thing that you need to consider is if the preconditions of audit are present or not. Financial reporting. So say one of the conditions is financial reporting framework is acceptable. So normally it is IFRS. So majority of the clients use IFRS. Okay. So that's an acceptable framework. Another acceptable framework could be the US GAAP. And then in the UK, we use FRS 102 or FRS 105. So UK GAAP, which is UK GAAP. In Ireland, we use Irish GAAP, but IFRS again remains like the main thing, even in these two countries. The management accepts responsibility. Another thing that you need to ensure before accepting that the management agrees to prepare the financial statements in line with the framework. They agree to design and design the internal controls and ensure that the internal controls are good enough to uh, keep the financial statements away from material misstatements. See, this word came back again, due to fraud or error, to provide the auditor with access. And yes, they agree to provide the auditor with all the information necessary for the purpose of audit. So these are the three conditions. Like this may not be very much relevant to your syllabus area, but just for your knowledge, just so that you guys understand the the process flow. Okay, reporting stage, that we'll come back to that later. Then we have the planning and risk assessment stage. Again, this stage includes determining the terms of engagement. So setting the audit strategy and audit plan. So once you have done with the preliminary engagement activities, we decide on the terms of engagement, which includes the responsibilities of both personnel. It's better, many times preconditions of audit become part of your terms of engagement. So responsibilities of the auditor, the responsibilities of the client, the audit fee, and everything. So everything that uh, is documented into a piece of paper, it's formalized, it's called terms of engagement or the engagement letter. Then you set the audit strategy and audit plan. Strategy is again um, is a summarized version of the plan. It's like the starting point, and audit plan is way more detailed as to what you need to do or what areas do you need as an auditor you would focus on. And yeah, you can make amendments to the plan after obtaining an understanding of the entity, its environment, and internal control. So basically, this is one of the most important steps that you would take as an auditor, especially if it is a first year audit. You do not know the company doesn't know you. You need to have crystal clear understanding of everything that the entity does, their sales process, their purchase process, how do they generate income, how do they make profits, who is involved in their HR, what controls do they, when I say controls, I basically mean, again, internal controls is also a very important syllabus area, a part of your syllabus area, but internal controls in this context basically means what um, the company dynamics, the checks in the company, the structure in the company, could be the mission statement, could be the company values, could be the HR policies, could be the standard operating procedures. Even if they have any CCTV camera installed, for surveillance, that's also part of control. If they have multiple personnel reviewing invoices and documents, and regular internal check and balances, those are controls. So as an auditor, you'll obtain an understanding of everything about the company, and you can do this. And how would you do this? By asking questions, by making inquiries, by reviewing the company's website, by having a look at the prior year's auditor's report, because that will also give you a very good idea of what areas as an auditor you need to focus on. The annual report of the company, that also gives you a very good picture of what the company is thinking about, say the chairman's statement, the CEO statement, the director statement, the financial performance, everything. So yeah, as an auditor, you need to obtain an understanding of everything. Okay. Majorly the payroll cycle, the sales cycle, the purchase and procurement cycle, the inventory count cycle, cash and bank cycle, fixed asset cycle. These cycles or these systems are pretty much tested within this internal control area. They have been tested over the past couple of years. And once you are done with um, assessing the risk, then you determine materiality. Now, materiality, again, which may be a very detailed discussion, which may not be possible right now. But right now, for the records, we have the lessons available for materiality on the portal. But right now, I would tell you materiality is like a threshold. It's like a benchmark, okay? Giving you a very basic example. So say, as an auditor, as auditors, we perform our checks, we perform the tests, we perform the procedures on a sample basis. We cannot test everything. That's humanly not possible, humanly impossible. So what do we do now? We will we will determine a criteria. That criteria is a quantitative threshold, and that quantitative threshold, that criteria is your materiality. Say any, and that could be, say, we determined the criteria of for materiality. The criteria is $5 million. Anything above $5 million, we may not tolerate. It's material. Material means it's significant. It is problematic. It is very, very important, and we cannot let this go. Anything below $5 million, we may ignore it. Now, how do you normally determine materiality? So that's again um, a detailed discussion. But for now, I can tell you normally companies use three metrics, three checks, and those are profit before tax and yeah, profit before tax, total assets, and total revenue. So we apply percentages on profit before tax, we apply percentages on revenue and total assets, either of them depending upon the nature of the company's operations. So if you are, say, if you are auditing a profit-making company, say if we are auditing a construction group, and they all, and their, like their objective is to maximize profits so that they can distribute well among the shareholders and retain much for the next year, then we will use profit before tax as a good metric. But what if we are auditing a mutual fund? The mutual fund may focus very much on their net assets. In that case, we may set the materiality of the net assets. So it depends upon the company's operations. So materiality is your threshold, and and within materiality, there is another threshold. So there are two different types of materialities. We can write it down here, and those are, sorry. Yeah. So here, planning materiality, performance materiality, and trivial. Okay. Planning materiality is the overall materiality that you set at the financial statement level. Could be a percentage of either your profit, net asset, sales, like I just told you, depending upon the company's operations. Performance materiality is calculated at and is calculated at or relevant at the individual line item level or for a group of line items. So it's not relevant for the whole financial statements, but it's relevant for the relevant sections within the financial statements. Say, and it is calculated as a percentage of your planning materiality. Normally, in all audit firms that I've worked for, performance materiality is equal to 5% of your planning materiality. Okay. And yeah, because say we are dealing with investments. Now there is um, a material misstatement or a problem of, like I said, $3 million. Now you may say it is lower than $5 million, the planning materiality, 3 million. I'm going to ignore it. No, that's not how it works. What if the performance materiality is 2 million? It's way above the performance materiality because we have to perform two different checks, not just the planning, but we also have to see performance materiality. Another thing to note here is items. The question is, sir, do we check items individually for materiality testing? What if there is a what if there is a misstatement? Misstatement means a problem or an error or an issue within the financial statements. So if there is a mistake, sir, what if there is a misstatement of say $10,000 in investments? Should we judge it individually? No, you'll judge it individually and you'll also judge it in aggregate with other misstatements. So say if that's the only misstatement, if that's the only issue, you'll be like, okay, there's little I could do. But if there are other issues in fixed assets as well, if there are issues in um, trade receivables as well, then you will club everything together, arrange everything together, total up everything together, and see the total, the aggregate total. If that aggregate total is above performance materiality, then you have to rectify it. Then you have to speak to the client. Okay. So the key takeaways are performance materiality used for checking line items in FS, and line items are checked individually and in aggregate. Okay. Is this clear to all of you? Any question? With the materiality thing, it may become a bit difficult for others, but I tried to ease it out. Any questions for with? Yep. Brilliant. Okay, clear. That's fine. Now, planning materiality. Okay, that's done. Fieldwork testing stage. Now, in this stage, auditors examine the accuracy of the final. Now, in this stage, normally we are just performing our test, and these tests may involve verifying the transaction, having a look at the invoices, overseeing the procedures, or requesting more information. So, you may be doing either test of controls or substantive procedures. Substantive procedures could be just a simple example, reviewing the invoices or asking questions. That's an example of these two are the examples of substantive procedures. Okay. Now there was lack of space here. So the final stage is the reporting stage where we completion and reporting stage there. We do nothing based on everything that we have gathered and all the tests and checks that we have performed. We will express our opinion. Normally there are two types of opinion, an unmodified opinion and a modified opinion. And modified opinion have three subtypes: qualified, adverse, or disclaimer of opinion. You don't have to do anything with these right now. This is just for your knowledge. What's a qualified, adverse, or disclaimer of opinion? We'll deal with that later. But for now, all you need to know is that there are two different types, and more unmodified and modified. And modified has three subtypes. Okay. Any question with this slide, or shall we move on? If you're happy to proceed, please mention in the chat box. Proceed. Okay. Now, syllabus areas and their relevance to audit stages. So yeah, see, Syllabus areas, code of corporate governance, which is very much tested in your exam. So these can be identified at any stage, but mostly at the planning and risk assessment stage that we just discussed right now in the previous slide. Deficiencies are reported at reporting stage in a management cover letter, or so code of corporate governance, which is your chapter number 3 as per your Kaplan study text. So that this chapter or this syllabus area is relevant to planning and risk assessment stage and also your reporting stage. Okay. Code of ethics, not specific to any particular stage and can arise, ethical issues can arise anytime. So we can't, like link them up with any particular audit process stage. The rest syllabus areas are actually named or titled on the um, stage names themselves. Planning and risk assessment here. Planning and risk assessment, planning and risk assessment, the second one. Audit planning stage, identify, design, and implementation of relevant internal controls. Sorry, yeah, that's done. Internal controls. Again, audit planning stage, identifying, design, and implement understanding of controls. Testing stage, we will respond to the control deficiencies. Reporting stage, communicate, improve. So there are 3 different stages for internal control syllabus area, which is chapter number 8. And one of the most important and technical, I mean, not from my perspective, but based on the examination history, examination trends. So it's a technical area big just because of the quantum, because it's a huge area, internal control. So it's involved in multiple, so it's linked to multiple stages. At the planning stage, we obtain an understanding of the controls. At the testing stage, we respond to all the deficiencies that we have identified with respect to those controls. Reporting stage, we simply communicate recommendations. Then we have audit evidence and reporting stage, sorry. So basically, due to lack of space, I have clubbed 2 different syllabus areas together. Audit evidence is a separate syllabus area and reporting is a separate one. Audit evidence is basically testing stage, the fieldwork stage, this one. Audit evidence is linked or relevant to number 3, fieldwork testing procedure performance stage. Okay. So hereby we do nothing, but we are as an auditor normally performing the substantive test. Okay. Evidence, substantive procedures. Okay. What are the relevant chapters? Chapter for audit evidence / substantive procedures, chapter 7, 9, and 10 from your Kaplan study text. Completion reporting stage, again, the stage where you are finalizing everything in your auditor's report. Again, this is the last stage, okay, which is not here. Yeah, completion and reporting stage, this one, number 4. Chapter number 11 and 12 as per your Kaplan study text. Any questions with this slide number 5? Any questions, everybody? Yep.
Hi. As you were going through, I'm not from an audit background, but what it seems like there's a lot of reading material. So, what is your best way or suggested way to read these chapters and understand them? What would you suggest? Because theory is very cumbersome.
Yeah, so for every chapter, we have chapter-wise notes available on the portal itself. The Kaplan study text may be too lengthy for few students. There are, every student is different. Some students prefer a summarized version. Our notes are good enough, but they are, like summarized. So we have chapter-wise notes available on the portal just below every chapter that may help you with reading. But reading is just not enough. Like you mentioned, there's lots of reading. Reading, it's not about reading, sorry. It's about understanding and linking whatever's there in the book. And how would you do that? With the recorded lectures on the portal and the live lectures that will be conducted every week from the next week onwards. Okay, so it's a combination of three different things: pre-recorded sessions, live sessions, and live sessions may be available on the website. They'll be recorded and uploaded on the website later on. So don't worry if you can't attend them in a live sitting. So live session, which will be recorded later, recorded session, pre-recorded session themselves, chapter-wise notes, the WhatsApp group, which is going to be a very active thing in the next couple of days, and the extra notes that I'll keep on sharing on the WhatsApp group. So it's your combination of everything. It's not just simply reading or, like going after detailed reading. Is that okay?
Okay, thank you. But you're saying one cannot just rely on the summarized notes, apart
Sorry.
from the videos that pre-recorded or live recordings. Would you still say somebody should go back to the book?
Um, So the course is complete, to be very honest. But again, one thing is not a substitute of another thing. If you're going through the lecture, which and you do not understand anything, you definitely refer the notes. Okay? Are you going through the notes? You do not understand anything, you refer to the lecture. But then even if you do not understand anything of either of the two, then you use this platform of WhatsApp group that's available to ask your question, ask your query, because yeah. But yes, coming back to your question, notes, chapter-wise notes, that's exactly the reason why that we have chapter-wise notes against each section to give you a complete picture, but in a summarized form. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes sense. Thank you.
No problem. Okay. Yes, there will be live session. I'll answer all those questions in a while. Just be patient, okay? The next slide. So we have two sections, A and B, the exam structure, with 6 questions across the exam. So that's how your examination has been uh, compiled. Two sections, section A and B, with 6 questions total across the exam. Question type. There will be 3 MCQs in section A worth 30 marks. So every MCQ, 3 MCQs, total 30 marks, 10 marks per MCQ. And every MCQ will have 5 sub questions. So 2 questions per mark. So 2 into 5, 10 marks per one question, 10 another, 10 another. And every question will have 5 sub question. Okay. And 3 long structured questions, section B. So that's that's the main deal. That's where students very much struggle, and that's because of lack of writing skills, lack of drafting skills. So that's exactly what we'll focus way more. That doesn't mean that we'll ignore section A, but yeah, com uh, priority will be everything, but focus will be a lot more on section B because of the examination trends. That's exactly what the examiner reports say, that students struggle in drafting their answers or making their points, and that's section B. Okay, so in live sessions we'll definitely focus way more on the drafting skill, how to write the answers, and also on the exam tips and techniques. So writing is just not enough. That writing comes with drafting techniques. Time allowed is 3 hours and 180 minutes for this particular exam. You're allowed 3 hours and 180 minutes, which means 180 minutes. Total marks, 100 marks are available. Okay, 1.8 minute per mark. That's the ACC allotted time, but we will definitely not use that. We will use 1.5 minute per mark. Okay, remember this. 1.5 minute is available for 1 mark. That means you have just 150 minutes available. That's the VLS allotted time slot. That's what you will keep in your mind from the very first day. Keep that in your mind and practice according to that time slot. Do not forget about 1.8 minute per mark. What else do we have in? Yeah. So, okay, now this is the course overview. The most important thing, complete pre-recorded session for all chapters. Okay. We'll have weekly live sessions on Fridays from next Friday, not this one, the 20th of June. Every Friday, we are going to have a weekly session which will be uploaded on the portal itself. So say if a week, say in case there is no live session, we'll try to arrange a substitute or we may give a recording. But definitely that's the main deal. Focusing on drafting, practice and exam techniques. So that will focus a lot more on drafting, writing the answer, how to draft the answer, how to write the answer with the right exam technique. Every syllabus area will have a different technique and we'll focus on it. Okay. That's something that students really struggle with. Topical assignments and overall syllabus marks. So every assignment, every week, you guys will have topical assignments, syllabus area wise. Um, say, say you have a syllabus area named Code of Corporate Governance. It will have um, Code of Ethics, Audit Planning, Planning and Risk Assessment. So every syllabus area will have their respective assignment along with an overall syllabus mock. Complete chapter-wise notes, extra information notes, and exam technique notes. So, like I said, complete chapter-wise notes are there on the portal themselves in every section. Extra information notes, these are notes that, you know, while we'll be dealing with a specific syllabus area during that time, I may share those extra notes in the WhatsApp group. Okay, that's why I say WhatsApp group is very important. Extra notes and exam techniques in WhatsApp group. Okay, structured study plan. The study plan, there is a study, the study plan may be forwarded to you guys within a week or so. I'll double check with the admin whether it's there on the website or it will be given to you guys in the WhatsApp group. And yeah, lastly, focus on stress, pressure, and time management. This is something, these three terminologies, you'll hear from my end over and over again because this is predominantly a theory-based exam. Many students literally like panic or shy away with theory and they are way more comfortable with calculations. But trust me, once you understand the process flow, the logic, it is really easy to deal with. It's very, uh, there, so many things are literally common sense. Check and balance is nothing just but common sense. Only these jargons like sufficient appropriate audit evidence, test of controls, these overwhelming jargons make life difficult. Okay. But how are we going to deal with it? So we'll focus on stress, pressure, and time management. One of the tips I just gave you, using 1.5 minute per mark for your self-practice, it falls under time management. Stress management, pressure management. I would always recommend students to practice their past examinations on the ACCA examination software online. Okay, because you'll be uh, pairing, you'll be doing your exam, you know, You'll be doing your exam in the ACCS software. It's not a paper-based exam anymore. It's a computer-based exam. So you'll be doing it on a computer on the ACCS software. So you really need to be familiar with the ACCS software. That's how you manage your pressure, your stress. Okay, and we'll see these things in way more detail later on. So what do you need to focus on before you guys ask me this question? I would highly suggest using the Kaplan exam kit for practicing the questions. That's something that I'll use during the live sessions, the Kaplan exam kit, but not the study text. I'm not discouraging you from using the study text, but since we have our own notes available, chapter-wise notes, and also extra notes that I'll be sending out, along with lots of messages I'm going to send in the WhatsApp group. So be prepared that I'm going to, like bombard everybody with the um, with my messages. So already we are giving you sufficient material, but if you feel that it's you still need more information, then you can refer to the Kaplan study text. I won't recommend it, but I won't discourage it anyways. Yeah, so I can see people writing how to study. I'll come back to that later. One more thing, just give me a second. Can you guys see this Excel screen in front of you? The Excel screen, is that visible? 18? What are you saying? Please, based on the syllabus, you showed us it's up to 18, but on the ACCA study platform, they have up to 30 chapters. What do you mean by that? What does that mean? Uh, ACCA study platform, 30 chapters. So basically, okay, I get it now. So in on the ACCA study platform, I'm not too sure about what platform are you talking about, but no, normally what happens is that they break down those small concepts into um, separate chapters. Okay, but based in your if we follow normally the Kaplan study, the Kaplan's order. So as per the Kaplan's order, the Kaplan structure, you have 12 chapters. Now, those 12 chapters may have multiple sub-concepts as well. Okay, but those multiple concepts may turn into 30 chapters. But Kaplan has focused on discipline, on summarizing, on summary, and on streamlining the process. Okay. But yeah, and that's exactly how the course is based on. The pre-recorded sessions literally cover everything. Yep, that's fine. Now, basically, what I want to show you is I want to show you the analysis for the past 2 years. Like I told you, uh, these are the examination trends based on June 24 and December 24, and these are very recent attempts. So Code of Corporate Governance. So this data has been collected from these analyses are based on Section B. You guys remember Section B is a 70 mark um, section from your AA syllabus area. And out of these 70 marks, we have made these analysis. Okay. So Code of Corporate Governance was not tested for any mark in Section B, but was tested for 4 marks in section in December 24. Planning and risk assessment is a must feature. It will be tested every attempt. Okay. So you can see the coverage, 18 marks, 12 marks, and you can see the percentages from section B itself. That's exactly the reason why I told you that we'll focus way more on section B in your live sessions. Just have a look at the total marks, 70. Just have a look at the percentages. So based on the analysis, substantive procedures were the highest. Like I told you, it is the examiner's most favorite topic, substantive procedure. Substantive procedure, planning and risk assessment, audit reporting, internal controls are a must feature in your section B. Code of corporate governance may be tested, may not be tested. Okay. But if it's not tested in section B, the examiner might test it in section A. Okay. But these analyses are simply based on section B, not section A, because ACCA past exams do not include section A, and I'm not too sure. The source of this information is ACCA website. Now, one more thing. There are knowledge-based questions and there are scenario-based questions. So now again, like most of you say that the syllabus is quite huge. There is a lot of quantum. There are so many things and we may not be able to cover everything. What are we going to do? We don't want to end up in a difficult scenario. To streamline things further, since the last attempt, we have prepared notes for knowledge-based questions. Now, the knowledge-based questions are test of your learning, test of your memory, and could be tested from any sub-component or any sub-chapter. Within planning and risk assessment, they may ask you benefits of audit planning. They may ask you what are the features of the 5 components of internal controls. They may ask you the responsibilities of an auditor with respect to fraud. They may ask you the auditor responsibilities with respect to laws and regulations. So the area for a knowledge-based question is huge, but the reward is very limited. Those can be tested from any component within the syllabus area. So like you said, Augusta, there are 30 chapters. I told you every concept um, has been presented as an individual chapter itself. So the area for knowledge-based questions is huge, and we cannot really predict where they may be tested from. But the reward is pretty much slow. You see, out of 70 marks in June 24, only 8 marks were available for knowledge-based questions, which makes up to 11%. Just have a look at the formula. 11% of section B. Now, section B obviously is 70 marks. So what about the whole exam? 8%. 8% literally. Okay. And same is the case with um in December, 9%. So 91% were 8% in June. That means 92% were a combination of scenario-based questions and the MCQs from section A. Okay. But let's focus on section B right now. So 62%, 89% in June and 87% in December were from scenario based. That's why we focus on section B in the live sessions. That doesn't mean that we'll ignore knowledge-based areas, but to streamline things very much further, since the last attempt, what we have done is, we have prepared a list of the potential questions that may, of the potential knowledge-based questions that may be tested, that have been tested since from 2010 up until 2025. So we have prepared a list of knowledge-based questions that have been previously tested in the last 15 years. And normally those questions are very much repetitive. Yeah. And even if they are not repetitive, the examiner might change the words, but the meaning will remain the same. So examiner has a very bad habit of playing with words, making your life tougher. But remember, the meaning, the crust will remain the same. So this list is already available on the portal, and I would highly suggest to start, you know, make this list a habit, or you can say a part of your preparation process from the very day one. Okay. Now, say if you are preparing for chapter number 1, simultaneously, you should be using that list to understand, to have a look at the knowledge-based questions that have been tested. Use that list as an just like you use notes. Now, like I said, every chapter has individual notes. Use this list as, like overall notes that cover everything. Okay. And obviously, now, you may not be expected. Now, when you go through that list, do not get scared that you may not be expected to write the same way that the examiner has written. But all you need to do is understand the main meaning. Just take out the key takeaways, the important points from the examiner's version, and draft in your own words. You will not be expected to write, in the length, the way the examiner has drafted in that particular list. Okay, lot of talking about that list. So this is the list of subtopics that were covered. See, benefits of audit planning was a knowledge-based requirement in December. Let's have a look at December, sorry, June, and then December. Yeah. And consideration of laws and regulations. This, Augusta, this may be a separate chapter by the study forum that you were talking about, but this is covered within the same syllabus area as per the Kaplan's structure. So that goes into consideration of laws and regulations, ISO 2250, 4 marks in June. Planning and risk assessment, again, describing audit risk was an 8-mark requirement, which is a very standard requirement. Scenario based, knowledge based. What was it? Internal controlled. How would you recommend, how would you do you communicate internal control deficiencies to those charged with governance? Was again a 4-mark knowledge based requirement. See, only 2 knowledge based. Everything else is scenario based over here. See, did you see that? So that's why, and if let's see December now. So in June 24, we had knowledge-based requirements from planning and risk assessment and internal controls. Let's see what do we have in December. In December, we have knowledge-based requirements from, okay, that's the wrong filter. Just a second. Let me filter here. So in December, we have again knowledge-based requirement from your internal controls. What are the 5 components of internal controls? Planning and risk assessment, benefits of audit planning. Trust me, these two requirements have been were tested even before December 24. So many times the questions are repeated. I clearly remember that benefits of audit planning has been re-examined in December 24. It was tested before that as well. Okay. So this was basically a trend of the questions syllabus area wise that I compiled. And these are the passing rates. See, since March 23, this has been the scenario. So the most difficult, the lowest result was in December 23. Yep. After that, there has been improvement in terms of the trend. And yeah, so you guys can see. So you are appearing in September 25. Have a look at the September for the previous years. Oh, sorry, I missed out on September 23, but it was very much similar. September 24, 47%. And then again, March 25 was again 47%. So we'll be positive and we'll expect that the results for September 25 will be positive as well. Okay. Now, over to you guys. Sorry. Sorry. Now, do you guys have any questions? Um, for those who didn't get the chance to speak, the first priority will obviously be those, but that doesn't mean that others are not important. But I'll try to check on with everybody. So I remember I didn't speak to Vinay. Vinay, are you there?
Yes, hi, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How about you?
I'm good also.
Anything from your end?
So far all it's okay.
Yeah.
Understood all what you said.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Happy?
yeah, happy.
Brilliant.
That time my internet had gone away, so I had to log out and log in again.
No problem. And where are you from?
I'm from Mombasa, Kenya.
Kenya.
Yeah,
Okay, brilliant. Lovely. Okay,
thank
no
you.
problem. Now we have who do we have in the class? Uh Tore. The
Hi, good evening.
good evening.
It's Taurai.
It's Torai. I'm sorry, Torai. Yeah.
No, it's okay. From my end, it's I think all is okay. I last attempted audit and assurance in December 2022, but I
Mhm.
was self-teaching, so I didn't make it.
Okay. So how did you find the s- do you have any concern or anything that you need to ask or add or
My concern would be on the answering because I did audit at university. I was
yeah.
during my degree,
Okay.
so that was the only subject that I did not have an exemption for.
Yeah.
I've the other ones, all the other 8 subjects, I had 8 exemptions.
Yeah.
So I need to write this and proceed to the next stage.
Okay.
So it was quite tricky as well at university. I like numbers as opposed to theory, and with audit it's a process and it's
Yeah.
a lot of theory.
Yeah.
So
But it's a very
I'm
simple process once you understand. Yeah.
yes, from what you have been explaining, you find that it's not as difficult. It's just perception where you think numbers are better.
Just the wordings make it difficult. Yeah.
Yes. So
So,
maybe I'm just looking forward to you
yeah,
helping me myself, especially on maybe answering,
yeah, okay.
understanding the questions, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Basically writing down the answers. That's where you need help with, yeah.
yes.
Okay, no problem. The live
Okay.
sessions, like I
Thank
just
you.
said, we'll be focusing on drafting and also will give a basic revision or a basic overview of whatever's been done previously. So don't worry, okay?
No
Now
problem.
you
Thank
can
you.
turn your mic off now.
Thank you.
Now we have I didn't speak to this Aishwarya. Is it Aishwarya or Aishwarya?
Hello, sir.
I can't hear you.
Hello, sir. Am I
Yep.
audible?
Yeah, you're audible.
Yeah, my name is Aishwarya.
Like Aishwarya Rai.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
and I am from India, like Aishwarya Rai.
Like Aishwarya Rai. Okay. And just like she
And
was Miss India or Miss Universe, you'll be Miss Audit in India. You'll secure.
actually, I'm Mrs.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
this is my 8th paper,
It's
and
your 8th paper. Okay.
yeah, from F1, I didn't get any exemption because I'm from science background. I yeah. This is my 4th paper with Vertex.
4th.
Yeah. Sorry, the 6th paper.
Okay. So that means that you have been very much, you have had good experiences previously.
Yes, yes.
So, hello.
Hello.
That means that you have had good experience previously, right?
Yes, sir, of course.
Okay. And how, anything from your end as far as your audit and assurance upcoming journey is concerned, or after in this session, anything that you need to ask or add?
This is my first attempt, audit and assurance.
Yep.
As far I cleared all papers on my first attempt. I'm a bit worried about audit and assurance because
Yeah.
I'm very weak in theory part.
You know,
So
this is, yeah, I know. This is has become such a common thing for me, that the most confident students, that then when they come up to audit, and they are like, we are the most afraid people. It's not just the case with you, and it's become like a trend that even the most brilliant, even the most confident students become a bit more hesitant with audit. But that shouldn't be the case with you. Like you mentioned, that you have passed all the exams previously in first attempt. You'll definitely pass this one in the first attempt as well. Okay.
Okay.
So, right. How did you find the session?
Good.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay. Now moving to, you can turn your mic off now, Aishwarya. Then we have Joel. Joel,
Hello?
are you there?
Are you getting me?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, you didn't get, I didn't speak to you in
Uh,
the class, did I? Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
Over to
yeah.
you.
Sure. Good evening. I'm Joel from Kampala, Uganda.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, and glad to be in this session today. It has been really, really wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
You simplified things that I looked to be complicated, and the way you broke down the topics and how it's going to be handled, to really give me some bit of
Confidence.
confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I feel I can do it. I can do it. I got Vertex. I was looking for the online tutor,
Yep.
and with the nature of my work, I felt I needed an online because I would not attend physical classes.
Mm-hmm.
So I kept on checking through different videos, and for
Okay.
Vertex was really, really good. I really liked the videos, and yeah, and that's why I decided to enroll in with you guys.
No, that's lovely. Thank you for your words, and I can sense and saw uh, the satisfaction and the confidence in your tone, and I'm glad to know that. So it's a very good start from your end. Thank you, and wish you the best of luck. Okay. Now you can turn your
Thank
mic
you.
off now. Yep. Now we have Joshua. Joshua. Yep.
Yeah, hello, good afternoon. My name is Joshua. I'm from Ghana, but I'm currently in the UK. So this is my first time I've registered for the audit and the transaction UK. So I was also searching online to get an online ACCA class to enroll in, and I came across Vertex. So I tried to watch some of the videos. So I watched the videos a lot for about 2 weeks. And I look at the pass rates and I watch other videos from other online classes as well. Finally, I decided to join the Vertex class for the audits and the task for this coming sitting. Yeah.
And how did you find your first live experience?
Yeah, so I'm very impressed with how you handle the first lecture today. Just the introduction, I'm very impressed, and I have some kind of confidence that if I put in a little effort, I should be able to pass at the first attempt. Yeah.
100%, no problem. Lovely, lovely. Okay. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
your
You're
kind
welcome.
words. Yep. And now we have who is this? Mirwais Masood.
Hello, sir.
Hello. Did I say your name correctly?
Yeah, Mirwais Masood, yes.
Mirwais Masood.
Uh,
Yes, over to you.
I'm Mirwais. I'm from Afghanistan and I have joined VLS since March 25.
Okay.
And this June exam, I attempted FR exam. It went pretty well as I was pretty confident with the VLS study structure. And then I was advised to take classes of AA and PM. So I'm a full-time student.
Yep.
I'm doing. I have already started on AA, and I liked your lectures a lot. I have already started seeing them. So I'm.
You've already started double A.
Yeah, I've finished chapter 1 and 2. So I'm just pursuing them and see what comes up. But one specific area I wanted to take your advice on that is about the PM, the performance management. Actually, I got exemption like maybe most of the students in F2 exam, accounting. So PM will be quite hard for me. So since I have to go back and review a lot of material, and that will take a lot of time. So what's your advice if I take PM along with AA and move forward? But I have a lot of time also. I'm a full-time student and trying my best. Thank you.
I mean, again, it depends on, it really depends on person to person. Um, I wouldn't, I would personally go for FR and audit together, or double A with another subject that involves calculations. But PM is also tricky if not dealt with properly. So in case you have time, if you have time, then yes, I will. And if you feel that you can do justice with both exams, then yes, you should definitely go for it. But if you are unsure anywhere, then I would suggest stick with one. Like you mentioned, you had PM previously, so if you want to continue with it because you still have the rhythm, everything's fresh, yes, you can, if you have time, which you say you have, because you are a full-time student. Okay, right.
Sure. Okay.
No problem. Then we have Solanki. Nital Solanki. Is it Nital or that's Nital?
It's Nital.
Nital.
Yeah.
Nittal Solanki. Apologies for the mispronunciation. Hi, Nittal.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How about you?
I'm fine. I had actually joined your classes since I think March when you had the intake. So that's when I had joined, but then I was sitting for FR in June.
Yeah.
So I registered for the September taking.
Okay, so you did you did attend some live lessons previously, didn't you?
Yes, I had attended your first Zoom meeting
Yeah.
and I had perused through chapter 1 a little.
Yeah.
Then
But
I
then
wasn't giving it much focus because I wasn't sitting for it in June. That's
yeah.
why.
Right. Okay, no problem. That's fine. No problem. Where are you from?
I'm from Mombasa, Kenya.
Kenya again. Right. How did you find the lecture today?
It was really good. I really loved the fact that already at the start of the syllabus, when we are still moving into the chapters and everything, you've already started telling us on which topics are mostly tested in exams and all that. And for me, that's a very crucial point because due to my workload and everything, sometimes it's really hard to cover the whole syllabus and revise. So with this
Yes.
guidance, I know where to focus on
Yeah.
at the end moments of the before the
Yeah.
exam.
No, 100%. No, that's right. That's correct. Okay, Nital, that you seem quite satisfied and relaxed. So I'm happy to know that.
Yes, very
I-
much
yeah,
relaxed.
I wish you all the best for AA and also for your upcoming result. Okay, FR's result.
Thank you so much.
No problem. And then we have, I guess now everybody has got the chance to speak. Is there anybody who didn't get the chance to speak? You can raise your hand right now because I can't remember. Yeah, yes, very well. You can unmute yourself, please.
Okay, thank you. My name is Moto Masilunyani.
Moto.
Yes,
You are what?
Moto
Yeah, yeah.
Masilunyani. Yes, I'm from Botswana. I stay in Gaborone. I recently wrote Botswana text, the Botswana variant text in June. I'm awaiting results. And I didn't get exempted for F4, corporate law. But since it's an on-demand paper, I plan to write it in July.
Yeah.
But I've already booked and registered for audit, which I'm writing on the 1st of September. So I came across this as a webinar. So now that you're saying you're starting live classes on Friday, I think I should pay and
The next
register.
Friday, not this one.
Or,
Yeah.
yeah, the next Friday. I think I should register and pay for it so that I can do them, study them together. And but I definitely want to write corporate law before attempting audit. I'm a bit nervous with audit because it's not, I'm not from an audit background. I'm working also at the same time, but I think I'll persevere. Thank you.
How did you find how was your
Um,
first experience, live audit experience? Yeah. Coming from a non-audit background like this.
Okay, I work in finance, but I just come with auditors when they want samples or they need
Then you
something.
do have an audit background, okay? If you're
No, yeah, well, it's not like you understand how they test those samples or anything,
Yeah.
but they just give you samples, you submit them,
Yeah.
and that's it. I'm an accountant,
Yeah.
and I work for a regional organization.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. That's fine.
And I
That's
came across Vertex through Facebook. In
yeah.
fact, somebody recommended online lecture tutors, and they referred me to a couple. But before I knew it, Facebook popped up with Vertex, and I checked them out, and I preferred them over the ones that were recommended to me. Thank
And
you.
how did you find the session today?
It's insightful, and I have hope that I'll be able to get over my fear of theory-based papers. I think it's just a fear, but I think you've settled my nerves.
Yeah, it's all in the head. And for the
Yes, thank
fear,
you.
see, like you said, not just you, but there are other students as well. Like Aishwarya mentioned, like you mentioned, and there were a couple of other students as well that mentioned their fear or anxiety with theoretical exams, especially audit. So this is the area, like I said, stress, pressure, and time management. You will find me using these terminologies over and over again because we have to be psychologically familiar. Stress levels should be well maintained. And this is one of the reasons why students definitely struggle. Normally, I share, um, if I have time right now, I'll share it quickly. Okay. Although we are running out of time, but yeah, just right now, in the very beginning, I might share this thing live with all of you over the screen. Just give me a second, it won't take long. Yep. Just give me a second. Yeah, sorry about the technical error. Basically, I just lost you guys on while sharing the Word file. There's due to some technical issue, I can't share the Word file right now. But I guess everybody has got the chance to speak. Somebody wrote the message, and I've missed out on that message. I mean, somebody asked a question in the chat box. Who was it? Was it which I didn't answer? Yogita, did you ask something in the chat box? Yeah, what was it?
Yes, sir. There will be weekly live sessions, right?
Weekly live sessions will be, like I said, every Friday. And if they are not on
Yes.
Fridays, yeah, I'll.
So what time?
Yeah.
What time will it be?
Yeah, so normally the timings are good questions. So normally the timings for weekly live sessions are around 8:30 to 9 p.m. UAE time.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. So there's a reason why we have decided on Friday. As you can see, that this is a very diverse platform. You can see we have literally students from all over the um, uh,
World, yeah.
all over the globe, okay? And it's very difficult to accommodate everybody. So yeah, there is a reason why we decided on Friday, because there are, it may not be there in the UAE, like Sunday is a working day, okay? In certain countries, in certain places, um, Sunday is a working day. It's not um, a day off. So that's the reason why we have arranged Friday, 8:30 p.m. Which is also not
Okay.
yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
right. So that's one reason why, and again, that's if somebody is unable to join, no matter due to what, then recorded session, live sessions will also be uploaded as a recorded piece on the website. And yeah, so was there anything else that you need to ask, or you asked?
Yes. So we recorded videos. Usually per week, how many videos and what will be average
Yeah. Okay.
length?
Right. Brilliant. So basically, the pre-recorded videos are very important, and this is for everybody, not just for you. Pre-recorded videos will give you a background of a background knowledge. In the live sessions, yes, we will go in a lot more detail, and we will have a look at the drafting, how to write the answer, how to draft the answer. But a basic overview, a recap, or a high level information is given in the recorded session. So every now and then, I will share what pre-recorded sessions you guys need to see before watching the live sessions, because if you everything is linked. If you do not go through the pre-recorded sessions, then attending the live sessions will be of absolutely no use at all. Trust me, because you'll miss out on the background information. Now, pre-recorded sessions are on average, they are not very long. Pre-recorded sessions are about 20 to 25 minutes. So there may be times you may require additional information or additional knowledge or additional detail. So that for that, say if you are watching a pre-recorded session, and if you have got questions, those may either be answered in the upcoming live session or in the WhatsApp group. So that's how it works. So it's a combination of everything: pre-recorded plus live plus WhatsApp group. Is that okay, Yogita, or anything else?
Oh, okay, thanks. But just one more thing. One more thing. So, because after I have not registered yet, so will we get these steps?
What? Sorry?
I haven't after I joined the orientation, but of course I haven't registered yet. So
Registration.
yeah.
For that, we have the
And
coordinator
okay, I
here,
see.
so she'll be dealing with it.
Okay.
So so the admin team will be dealing with the registration stuff and the details. I guess they have sent a message in the chat box as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, I can see
Right.
it. Yeah.
No problem. And then we have another question from Sharon. Yeah, you mentioned that we should use. See, I don't recommend BPP kit because I don't use it. So I'm very much comfortable with Kaplan kit. So that's what I use. And yeah, Kaplan kit, you don't need to buy it. We have copies of Kaplan kit available. So we'll send it on the group. So you'll have access to Kaplan exam kit. Don't worry about that. And yeah, from after the session, by tonight or by tomorrow, I'll officially announce the live sessions and everything for September 25 in the group. So obviously that will answer a lot more queries. Does anybody else want to ask anything, or if everybody is happy? If everybody is happy, then we will definitely say goodbye then. Right. Okay. Right. Brilliant. Okay. That's it. Thank you for taking out time. I wish you all the very best and And I really hope to see this huge strength and audience in the upcoming live session as well. Till then, take care, goodbye, and Allah Hafiz. This is your tutor, Shahrukh Yusuf, signing off. Goodbye, everybody. Bye-bye.